Arceus Legends Hikaru Pokemon Sparkle Sparkle. In preparation for the brand new Legends ZA game coming out, or as what you guys would like to call it, a Z. Ew. I'm going to be 100% in Legends Arceus all on stream, but here's the catch, I'm going to be using nothing but shiny Pokemon only. This means the full perfected dex, all the side quests, and the one and only god of all Pokemon. No, not Arceus. This guy. However, there are two things to consider. I am setting rules. Number one, I can't overlevel, I've got to remain at the caps. And number two, I've obviously got to use shiny Pokemon, but there are instances where I have to catch non-shiny Pokemon to progress with the story and also 100% the game, but I cannot use them. That includes all Mythicals, all legendaries, because they're all shiny locked. So with that, trainers, saddle up. It's gonna be a long and juicy ride. So there I started, in my mother's womb, like all the legendary shiny hunters are from, and in this void of a world, I heard a voice. And all of a sudden, BAM! I wake up. I have a strange old man poking me on the beach. Yep, you'd be a wicked lifeguard. And despite not having a clue of who or where I am, there's one thing that I and the chat knew. These aren't shinies. Yes, this is a completely unmolested game with full odds, so everything was at stake. So to advance, I catch the 3 starters, meet my future wife in the Sacred Realm, burst out Big Nose to the commander, and get assigned with catching a couple more Pokemon. But seeing as the entire tutorial is shiny locked, the Cyndaquil I beat up can't sparkle, who beats up a petty egg. Moreover, the 3 Pokemon I have yet to catch can't sparkle. And well, this didn't feel very difficult. So I chatted and had fun with the chat, and well, Magnus teased me with the shiny sparkle sound effect. Watch this throw me off now. Magnus, you are horrible, mate. You are horrible. We're all hanging out, we're all having a good time. It will fly by, and lo and behold... Where? You? You? Oh, Magnus! I got as many research tasks as possible, seeing as our best shiny encounters we could get is Bidoof, Starly, and, well, Shinx. Though we could use someone else if we wanted to. If I wanted to shiny hunt at full odds at 4096. And with a completed dex being 10 research points halves it down to 1 in 2048. And when all the tasks are done, the entry gets perfected and the odds are boosted again to 1024. Eventually, I joined the cause, sumo wrestled, and got to this very moment. Come on. I swear, if we start with a Shinx, I'm gonna be gassed. We have got a mass outbreak. Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Shiny Shinx! Shiny Shinx! Oh my god. Yes! Yes! If you couldn't tell, mass outbreaks are going to be our bread and butter, as they can have between 10 to 15 encounters at a staggering 1 in 158. And a perfect X is even more at 142. That's the best odds we can possibly get for this video. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the big catch. I'm not nicknaming them. In fact, everyone else in the chat did. Especially the supporters, and seeing as I was mentioning on that I needed a new chair, Steven called it new chair. This exact chair that I'm sitting on right now. Going on to that, there was some awesome evolutions and new forms in Gen 4/Arceus. So let me know down below in the comments on what your favorite shiny Pokemon is in Legends. And while we're on subject, we're going big and beyond, but not just for shinies, but with this channel. And I cannot do it without your help. So if you enjoy these videos, I just have one favor to ask. If you like these, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ding dong the notification bell. The journey is going to be bigger and better with your guys' support, and you can change your mind at any point. But to round off the first stream, I battled May, or Mai, however you want to call it, about 5 times despite being 4 levels higher. That Munchlax meant business until it got paralyzed and that Alpha Cricketune was making, well, nothing but a racket. Until he conceded the fight with a false swipe and, well, we zapped it to the moon. A wild weird deer appears. No, I'm not banning travel Pokemon just because they're not shiny. I'm not stupid. And evolve our Golden Cat to Luxio before going to sleep for the night. The next day was actually spent doing as many side quests and the main story just to make a little more progress before shiny hunting for more Pokemon. This included perfecting as many dex entries as possible before heading into the forest to tackle Leon. All I know is I'm gonna Ice Fang this little blob here. And shock horror, that's exactly what I did. Chomp! Dead. Big wins all around. And a future nickname for our snail, but we'll have to hang fire on that until we can actually catch him. I'm gonna call you Mr. Blobby. For the time being, I continue on my grind, grabbing some lost satchels for points for special items later. This will allow us to evolve the Pokemon that need to be traded away, such as Alakazam or Gengar, without actually trading. Before eventually arriving back at the base with new information to hand, to calm down the Kleavor. He says Eureka and comes up with a plan. With his favorite scents and foods, I head out, meet a wild Weirdeer. He may not be shiny, but at least he will allow us to ride around. I get promoted, and with that 3rd star, I prepare myself for the big battle. Despite the big rocky bog absolutely decimating my new chair, which, may I add, is quite comfortable, I single-handedly take out Kleavor myself, calm his frenzy, and peace is restored to the Obsidian Fieldlands. We then made the executive decision just to head back for our debrief, the idea being we are able to get more outbreaks and multiple rolls at once, so this would turn to work in my true favour. In addition to this, I tackle some of the side quests such as playing Detective Pikachu and discovering a baby Pichu robbing this poor lady's berries, playing Ghostbusters and finding the lost wisps in preparation for a huge shiny hunt closer to Endgame, both in the village and the Fieldlands. I also confirmed the light in the tree is indeed a Chimchar for a villager. Yes, we are going to have to catch it to complete the quest. It is what it is. And because it's in the rules, I do just that. Afterwards, I grab my intel on my next mission and the next area to shiny hunt, the Crimson Mylands. But before I do that, we go out on a grinding spree for further research tasks. Yes, this stream was a bit of a fill. Oh my god! Shiny Cricketer! Yes! He's found one! He's found one! Oh, that's not the shiny. However, eventually, I did manage to find a golden cricket called Alex and evolve it to Cricketune. Oh, it's alright. But that's not all, because right at the end of the stream, and upon entering the next area, I was then greeted by a blue duck. There it is! There it is! There it is! Let's go! Shiny Psyduck! And so to battle we go with it. Again, mainly for further research, but we caught it, named it Lapis, and called it for the night. The next stream follows. We were currently on a roll, but I needed to start expanding my team, and this was the time where I went outbreak after outbreak. Okay, and I just couldn't seem to find a shiny, but the vibes was there. It was really good fun. Oh, was that it? Don't tell me that was it, chat. Don't tell me that was it. And the research grinding was still rolling through, so by this point, we had already gotten our 4th badge. It was only a matter of time until we found our... Oh my god! Yes! 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 He's finally got one! He's finally got one! I mean, that was very rude to interrupt, but yes, I found a shiny. This guy is called Starchild. However, despite this capture, I got really unlucky this stream, only finding one more at the end, and that being a repeat. So I thought just for a change of pace, I went in search for the Crimson Mylands wisps, as that needed doing, alongside with some of the other side quests in the village that we needed to take care of. Those were mainly item hunting, so we're able to have more goods to purchase in the store. And thanks to some viewers in the chat, they were willing to help the cause and do a trade deal. The duplicate Mine Jr. away to Golden Geodude. You may think we're starting to finally get some muscle on the squad, right? Well, no. I have to trade it away myself to this lady right here. No, it doesn't look like a rock. It's a shiny golden rock. It's golden ore. Boy, oh boy. This was a painful one to give away. However, with that deed done, I think it's time to continue with our main quest. I meet the old lady and her non-shiny bee barrel in the ruins, get told to beat it, then out of nowhere I encounter Volo, which, thanks to him, I'm able to get into a battle with him and be able to test my strength. I start with Lapis against Togepi to Carmine, to then we're able to sweep the egg with a stab water pulse, following a quad effective icy wind. What a battle. Unfortunately, Caliber took no interest whatsoever. And there Volo was, solving the situation she has. Part of the wall fragment had been stolen, so from here, I take on the grueling task to be able to hunt down and teach the bandit brats a lesson. I end up at the recently burnt campfire to then be ambushed by Queen and her Toxicroak. Just like that, we quite simply take out the thief, they drop the fragment as they scatter. From there, I return swiftly to the unknown ruins to hand back the fragment to the elderly member of the Pearl clan. And as she fixes it, she states upon the main issue she has. The frenzied Pokemon is none other than Ursaluna, a fearsome grizzly bear. I humbly accept the challenge and head on outwards to the bog trails to set up camp, beat up Stonky, and once I am prepared, I find my footing in the arena. But nothing beats a calm mind to be able to take a huge slash, very well in fact, so a pulse of water to the face puts him in a bit of a state. However, he goes for an agile baby doll eyes, followed by a slash, leaving us on a sliver, but a final water pulse seals the bear's fate. The bear gets cured of what it was suffering with, though not in a frenzied state. He learns well to the sound of my playing with the flute, report back to the professor for a debrief, and notice a big itch on my back. Scratch it and realize it's an Unown. I also need to catch every single one of the alphabet. This won't be fun. However, I continue to grab more of the wisps and return to the office to find Alaman and Kamado, with reports of Lady Lilligant on the ridge is indeed the one who's frenzied, and Arazu is missing. I let them deal with that one whilst I continue on my main purpose of the Galaxy team, more research. I tried to shiny hunt, but with no luck again, I decided to finish off the Crimson Mylands, find Arazu wincing in pain with the palms of her hand, and at long last, it's time to take on the frenzied plant. Which was simple enough. I threw my final balm at the ballerina, it glows, goes back to its normal state, before smiling. Wait, plants can smile? I went through a little more of the story, welcoming more villager folk arriving into the region the next day. I do get assigned my next assignments, however, it was getting late. But before we do that, I grab the next rank to the roster, now being rank 5. I activate the next side quest, a peculiar Ponyta. This is going to be by far the easiest shiny we're going to get in this video. I spot the blue flames in the fieldlands. Yes, it still counts towards the side quest, research, and a shiny encounter. Oh, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. So, of course, I wanted to include this one, and then named it Epona. And instantly used her to finish the day by battling Irida. Glaceon melted to the ground. Eevee got punted to the moon. It's another victory for Team Shiny and our pony's first win. However, this stage and section is where our progress could indeed slow down. I climb up the mountain to the stunning views of the coastlands and the island with the volcano in the distance, meeting Paulina. In this area of the Hisui region, there is no lord, no lady, a warden with no lord to work with. That being this lady here, tells us a story, but I need to still continue onwards to that island to gather more intel, followed by knocking on some stranger's door, spook said stranger, and then my next capture is basically imminent. I need to grab a Dusclops to summon Basculegion, and seeing as I'm doing this big challenge, I need a shiny Duskull. I, however, wanted to work on my roster a little bit more alongside with the other research tasks. At the end of the day, we have a lot more Pokemon to get through, and 60% of the region is ours to explore. So I first of all grab ourselves some new evolutions. Starchild evolves to Mr. Mime, and Lapis evolves to Golduck. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. Oh my god! Yes! 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 The shiny Togepi! I see it! Yes! Run. Go, 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 go. Yes! Yes! That is one rather rare fairy encounter, done and dusted. And other than the fact I grab another star, I didn't do that much else, nor do anything interesting for the remainder of that stream. So with this in mind, I decided to grind out the deck some more to the level cap. I managed to complete the research tasks and find a shiny Piplup at the same time. There it is! There it is! Come on! Come on! Let's go! Oh my god, what a shiny! What a shiny, chat. Oh my god. But what I was really hoping to find was this thing here, which was the thumbnail of the very stream. We needed this to progress through the story. I dedicated this whole stream just for this one, and about halfway through, this happened. There it is! There it is! Chat, this could be it. This could be it. We need this. We need this. Oh, come on. Out with it. Out with it. Out with it. Yes! 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 Oh my god, we got it. If you couldn't tell, I was very happy with that encounter. Yes! Come on! We can progress, chat! But it was a dust goal, so with Slushy and Luno added to the team, and to get enough levels for him to evolve, I spent some more time researching and hopefully get a new Pokemon for mass outbreaks. At some stage as well, our new chair evolved to Luxray, and just by the end of the stream, I got to a certain point with extra bits of side quests before my Switch decides to pack in, and I lose most of my progress after catching Luno. Ugh, great. But on top of that, I took a break from streaming for two reasons. One, the power supply of my PC back then completely conked out.
Wait for it. We're still finding shinies.
And two, I went on a fabulous trip to Walt Disney World. But also proposed to her the very next day, which you can actually look up right here if you really want to. It is my most valuable and most precious video on this channel to date, so if you do want to watch it, it is up there. But whilst on the flights, I'm waking up early to join stuff like Tron's Light Cycle Run, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, etc, etc. I found a lot more shinies at the time. This included Starly, the Big Weasel, Eevee, our Pink Seal, and a heck of a load of others.
Shiny Ghastly.
I shared every bit of info on my Discord server, so you guys kept in the loop, which is also completely free to join, so if you haven't done so, why haven't you? My first stream back was on the 25th of September in 24, and I was super stoked to get back to the challenge, showcasing all of the new shinies we've got on our travels away from the desk. That's a full box. And you know what's better, chat? There is two Weasel. One of them is a Big Weasel. I think this one is the Big Weasel. So we got a lot of renaming to do. That is probably the hardest side quest that we needed to do, to give up a Big Weasel. It wasn't an Alpha Weasel, but we managed to do it. So with that ticked off, I speak to the gatekeeper at the entrance from Prelude Beach, and for the rest of the episode, I decided on grinding away at some research tasks. Perfecting the Pokedex is tedious, but as I mentioned at the very beginning, rewarding. Because of this, we are already star rank 8, but overall this was a nice and rather chilled stream to simply catch up with you all and evolve some Pokemon. Beauticia evolves to Beautifly, Luna to Dustox, the world leader in Balloon Fight, yes, I still have the Disney blues, and a Fighter evolves to Parasect. I mean, at least it's visible. And to round off the stream, Lilo evolves to Floatzel. The next day I continue to grind out some more, as considering we have like, what? Another 120 shinies that we need to add to the decks. Yeah, we need to get a move on. So I decided to grab a team of 6 brand new shinies and research them all in this very stream. Starting off with Wukong, the Chimchar, evolved to Monferno, following a quick side quest for Mr. Mime's entry, and by showing this geezer my shiny Cypher. I'm not gonna lie, he was a little bit jealous, methinks. They're for my wife, you see. No, I'm sure they are. Following that, our second Sinnoh starter, Zitz the Turtwig, evolves to Grottle. Oh my god! Oh my god! Full on super! Let's go! Alongside shiny hunting, I took on the opportunity to grab all the wisps in the Cobalt Coastlands. With that out of the way, next was to clear the next balloon quest, which I found a lot more difficult compared to the first challenge in the Fieldlands with Weirdeer, but other than that, not a lot else happened on the stream. So after getting all of my captures evolved and got the shiny decks filled up, we were getting to the level cap for the next Noble, and that would be at the volcano. So we take a ride over there, ready to catch back up in the story, where Polina has a little bit of, let's say, a disagreement against the bandits, stealing their Growlithe. I step in to help out the Warden, but I don't think I really needed to. Stand back, sisters, I'll take care of him. Go with Bob Snow, smash this tool to pieces. In a volcano of all things. Hello!
You are made of stupid. Bye-bye.
I think it's safe to say that I pretty much had this in the bag. I mean, they aren't really the best of thieves, and they're not really the brightest of peeps either. Toxicroak had a very similar treatment, but this time with Goober, and just for research purposes, I hit a hard Mob Bomb before missing the KO, because he too used Mob Bomb and is obscured. Twice in a row. It's clearly just my luck. But it's okay, because once Lilo comes out and gets sweet revenge, it's just the unlucky charm. And well, I can see why she's called that. Lilo sweeps the Rhydon, and her Gengar, well, just couldn't deal with my little pussycat. So yeah, I think a little Starly in my ear told me this was going to be so easy. Well, you'd be wrong, because after that said disagreement, Palina's Growlithe found the courage it needed to evolve into the new Lord of the Isles, Arcanine. And then it went into a frenzy, ignored the lady, and threatened to kill us all. So, yep, it's time for another noble Pokemon battle, but this one's probably the hardest of them all. Well, at least in my opinion anyways. For the whole battle, you're pretty much stuck on a very limited space, and this thing packs a punch. Even against strongly powerful matchups like Lilo, its water type being quite effective, and yet it wasn't enough. But somehow, after Wukong hits a quick Mach Punch in retaliation, and an opening for a load of bombs, we managed to hit one more shot from a far distance, giving us the win. That's noble 3 out of 5 done and dusted. Now then, what's next? There's honestly not a lot of story really going on right in this moment of time. I mean, the main thing really is to find new shinies and build up on the ones we have already got, to have a fully shiny dex, and even despite making progress with new evolutions and research points, this happened. No way, no fam. I knew this would haunt me. Oh, for poops and giggles, I'm gonna kill it. Now, I'll be honest, I did have a load of issues on the next stream. Mainly my Wi-Fi just kept dropping. But once we're back and cooking on gas, the next step was essential for our 100% shiny quest.
We need to hunt for those mysterious letters. We're going to start with the Fieldlands. If we find an outbreak, we're going to do said outbreak.
Now, the only one I physically remember its location whilst doing this challenge was this spot by the waterfall. But since clearing the islands, we got another part of the Pokedex full of notes. The problem is, it's in Unown language. Now, me being me, I can't read Unown text whatsoever. However, with the help of the chat, we were able to translate and create my own notes. My own cheat sheet, if you will. And I basically highlight them once I'm finished with them. That wasn't going to stop me because one by one, from the Fire Pit Island to the forests of Hisui, we were able to slowly build up our Unown alphabet, and the collection was in progress. No, I am not getting a shiny in every single letter of the alphabet. Absolutely not. As long as it's perfected, the notes were done, and I at least have a shiny, then it's cool with me, and it counts. So with a big portion done and dusted, I think now is the time we gather intel from Commando Camaro. And also this guy.
Wait for it. Hey ho, Bossman Commando! Thought I might have slipped your mind to send me an invite, so I took the liberty of stopping by anyway.
I think we could all agree on one thing. I do not like this annoying little swine-up. Alaman wants a battle, so I start poisoning his team. Bear in mind, this team I was only using for research, but we still managed to defeat the Diamond Clan leader with little issues. And the Pearl Clan followed up with Ingo, who just so happened to also fall out the sky with no memories other than his love for trains. I also managed to unlock the Sea Legends quest, and while trying to figure it out, because it's been a very long time since I have done it, this happened.
I heard a shiny. Oh my god, is that full? Chat! We just found a full-on shiny Pokemon! We just found full odds!
With Ingo's help, we safely get escorted to the highlands of Mount Coronet. This is not only home to the all-powerful rock and ground types, but also is the closest point to study the rift. Melly is annoying and also really pushing me back at this point.
Melly, go away. Not interested. Shoot. Bye-bye. You can't have my number.
Well, at least the chat agreed with me on one thing. Anywho, he also attempts to make sure our journey that much more tougher by hiding the torches, but with Ingo by our side, we can slowly but safely make ourselves through the caves, learning about his past and his partner Pokemon. And with the torches found and placed back to where they should be, I made a little unscheduled stop to trade away the second shiny Carnivine I caught before. Again, because I don't really like it. But I mean, hey, I'm happy to give away the shinies. But with us having free reign of the area to explore on our own, I try to find some more Unown. Well, just about. Not only that we were flying with the alphabet, with 17 out of 28 found, but I managed to help a lady out rescue a Bronzor while she sets up another camp. So that gives us more room to venture on outwards without progressing the story. But that turned out to be a huge mistake on my end.
Oh, and I've got a hunt for Chingling as well. Great! Great! Yeah, that is definitely a classic Ryan moment. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
But I mean, I guess it's all worth it when I found yet another shiny.
Please. Please. Oh, it's male. Wait! Wait! Yes! 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 Would you like it if someone tosses a spoiled apricorn at your behind? Probably not. But if it's to get a shiny that I need, I will take it. That was the last one as well.
With that done, another side quest was completed, and after a lot of progress, I turned myself into bed for the night. But in between streams, I've been looking for extra shiny Pokemon. Like this one I have caught from a previous video, the Red Challenge, Machop. But in this particular stream, we did manage to speed up our shiny roster. And while I was only doing some research tasks...
No way! No way! Yes! Shiny Chimubi! Let's go!
And then another one.
Oh my god! Oh my god! P-Snake! P-Snake's here!
Well, you know the nickname for what shiny Onyx is. Oh. And another one.
Chat! That's shiny! Wait! That's shiny! Finally!
So yeah, we've now finally have the god of all Pokemon. And if you thought that wasn't enough, we managed to grab a poisonous turquoise frog.
Oh my god! Oh, let's go, chat! Chat, we're on a roll!
As I'm editing this, I don't think I missed any at this moment in time, but knowing me, I probably have. So, oops. But I'm gonna cut the long chat short. I evolved them all, I found out where their favorite place to pee was, and we were honestly just flying through this challenge. What is our luck recently? I said that way too soon, because outbreak after outbreak, I just couldn't find anything. And to be honest, it didn't really help a lot was going on at the time. The first super secret project completely fell through at the time, so I was a little down. However, despite this, our luck didn't run completely dry.
A tad. Oh my god, I heard it. I heard something. Chat, I heard something. Wait.
Fish.
Shiny fish! Shiny fish! Yes! Yes, shiny fish! Yes! We got a shiny, chat!
Okay, I think that's plenty of shiny encounters for the time being. That's a lot of encounters. And so with Ingo waiting for me for an eternity at this point, and Melly really spoiling our plans and me having to bite my tongue and battle him to show my worth, it's his Skuntank against Epona. We get the double hit set up, but a huge poison jab hurts. Like a lot. We hit a strong styles flame wheel, but that only does about a third.
Okay, bye-bye, Epona.
So yeah, I let Presence come out for her debut, nerf the Skunk's tank with baby doll eyes, and then get jabbed. Again. However, a strong draining kiss follows and is enough to scare the opponent away. Melly retreats, allowing us to pass. So I continue my way through the Highlands, meeting up with Ingo once again. And this time, we're to battle against him, just to help him jog his memory of who he was. But let's be honest, let's just build him a train and call it a day there. Machoker's against Epona, and well, Double Edge hurts a lot. However, a Flame Wheel typically doesn't knock it out. It can only happen to me. And thus, one more Double Edge from the opponent not only takes our pony out, but he has a bit of a stinker and heads to the Shadow Realm himself. So I send out Baldy against Tangela, and after the paralysis, I get the double hit in to get paralyzed. And in traditional Rypereon fashion, we go bye-bye. Crumpet enters the field, sets up the nasty plot, and hits a hard slash. Once again, we get paralyzed, but another slash takes out the tangled monster. This left Gligar, and he is quick. Plus, with agile style moves, we quickly fall. So Steve comes out, missed the first Aqua Tail, but eventually hits the Flying Scorpion. The damage from missing though is there, and yep, another poison jab knocks us out. So I do what I do best. Panic.
Right, let's hope for the best then, chat. Come on, strong style. Come on, Presence, let's go. And he's 7 levels under the cap.
That battle was honestly so difficult. Like, we were just rocking with a team of babby Pokemon. And well, let's be honest here, they were absolutely carrying us through the rest of the segment in the story. But with a victory under our belt, the noble Sneasler entrusted us with the sound of our flute playing, allowing her to carry me through. And to finish off the stream, I grabbed all the wisps off the Highlands before going to bed. And honestly, that was it. I didn't play Legends Arceus for a while. With the Christmas season at that point fast approaching, and with my job getting really busy, what they call peak season, I had to pick up a lot more hours, and I just didn't have the time to joggle around with my own videos, with work, and have the time to stream. But that didn't mean that I took a break though. But that was when I did more research tasks and shiny hunting off stream.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, I need to match this. Oh yeah.
And yes, when my first stream back wasn't very productive story or quest wise, and yes, more research was done in the background, there was one shiny I was quite happy with.
Oh my god, we got one! We got one! What a beauty!
With now over 100 hours of playtime, we got ourselves Tangler called Spaghettios, which now marked us the 2/3 of the way through the whole Pokedex. And I didn't stop there, because at this point I kept updating the chat with loads of shinies that I caught off stream.
I got a shiny Jotonian Sneasel. It's not even completed.
That was honestly probably the hardest shiny that we could have ever got. Jotonian Sneasel is in the space-time distortion rifts, as we call it. But they don't have any boosted odds, they only last for about 5 minutes, and if the weather changes at any point during the cooldown period, the cooldown clock resets. In short, they were going to be a pain in my backside, but I had a way around this. However, in the meantime, I managed to continue on with the story, and it's time I take on the 4th Noble, Hisui and Electrode. This one was pretty straightforward. I don't get why people say this is harder than Arcanine. Just run. I mean, at the end of the day, this one is just patience, get chased, find my opening, and then burn it to the ground. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention most of my Pokemon have evolved at this point. But yeah, after a quick double hit and a huge flame wheel, the explosive ball lets its guard down, and by spamming loads of bombs to the face, it leaves him in, well, not a very happy state by the looks of him. Peace is once again restored, Ingo is happy, and I get to laugh in Melly's face. Nice. Before the debrief, however, I took on a load of further research, including some new evolution lines, including our beloved egg Bob evolve into Togetic alongside others, and also show off my shiny Vine monster to someone who simply wanted to further study and see if he's wearing any socks under his shoes, and behind the bush, speak to an old man for wares for a local convenience store, oh, and found Wonder the Wanderer. Again. So other than the fact that I didn't find any shinies that stream, a lot of progress was made and everything was coming along once again. The next evening, I evolved boldly to Machoke, giving us yet another entry to our shiny dex, and I thought it might be time to get a new change of clothes, seeing as I was getting a bit bored of the current setup that I was rocking with. This combination between the fancy bottoms and the purple pattern kimono suited my style very well, before finally returning to the office for the debrief. Where have you been? You've been gone for weeks! Yes, well, you see this thing? I've been studying shiny Pokemon and not regular Pokemon. It's got something to do with the rift. Right? Just go sort out Avalugg in the Icelands. And well, that's what I get my nose stuck into. I managed to get Frostbite in the Alabaster Icelands, the final area to be able to get shiny hunts underway for potentially the strongest Pokemon, but also to solve our quest of the frenzied noble Pokemon causing havoc across the region. And then I couldn't be bothered to continue. However, that's okay, because literally 20 minutes later, this happened.
I'm just worried for the... That's a shiny up! Yes! We finally got one! We've got a pig monkey!
Oh, hello there!
Mangy Jim, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Crap. Get it? Okay, phew. I nearly lost it. It's taken you since the very start of this project. You have finally shined. You have finally shined. You're an ugly green now. Oh, that's big. We are so back. You're getting great balled. Nice, that's another one.
Another one.
Oh, we're so back. We are so back. 3 back-to-back shinies. Eat that berry. Eat that berry. I'm not taking any chances. Oh, thank God.
Following that, we completed some further research quests and took care of some more evolutions. Gom dropped to Sliggoo. Our deer called Pia becomes, well, a pea called deer. I think it's a good nickname. Yama to Yarmega, which is a much better shiny. Then one of my viewers wanted to help in exchange for helping her shiny living dex. Our Rocky Doggy evolves to Arcanine. And last but very much not least, Fingers, well, grab some more fingers. So now with some further entries into our shiny Pokedex, and the fact that we're fully up to date on the research tasks, I think it's about time that we jump back into the story for a little bit. I meet up with Iridescent Animan, who leads us to a guy with fresh nips, and then proceeds to attempt to murder me with his Frostlass and Glalie, which went well. With him down, next was heading over to find Sabi and having a game of chase, and after chasing through the entirety of the Icelands, the pursuit leads me to this Snow Point Temple and the next part of the puzzle. Now's the time I can follow up with a little adventure to the top, following the Reggie statues and combinations as I go. By the time I do get to the top, I'm in for a surprise. However, this is going to be a little more problematic, because after getting paralyzed, we get an absolute beating. However, once we're finally able to move, her big hitter is out, so it gives me the opening to switch out to Wukong and cause absolute havoc.
Oh, he lived?
Yes, he did. Then T-Waves and T-Punches me, once again, absolutely destroyed. Everything was okay when Tails gets revenge and swiftly takes it down. So after a victory to prove my worth, it was then time to take on the big bird herself, Braviary. And yeah, Achu may be very much underleveled, however a quick swords dance later and I was ready to cause havoc. Quick ice shard followed by a night slash. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And so the bird was donated to my traveling cause, and after flying to the ground, I'm ready to jump on to calm the frenzied Avalugg. And boy oh boy, this thing, huge. Honestly, he can easily be a dinosaur.
Uh-oh. Please! No! No!
And this thing can do huge damage too. Yeah, I didn't really prepare for the fight ahead, but with Gentle Dude out, Slushy comes out for a huge flash cannon to get around the physical bulk. We didn't even need another Pokemon battle, and a final bomb calms this iceberg dinosaur. We had done it. We have calmed all 5 of the nobles, and it's all over.
That's a shiny Gibble. That's a shiny Gibble. All right, we'll take it.
Okay, except for that. And after gathering every single wisp in the Icelands, we finally got every single purple light. Other than the final one. And well, my reaction after finishing one of the most tedious side quests, well, just see for yourself.
Oh. No! Was she a ghost? She was a ghost! The whole time!
And the quest after catching Spiritomb came to a close, as well as the final Unown's caught in the area, again thanks to my little cheat sheet. There was one thing left to do before shiny hunting, and that was to catch our first mythical legendaries, Manaphy and Fiona, through the Sea Legends quest. As you note, these Pokemon aren't shiny locked, so I do have to catch them to complete the quest, finish the research, and not use them anywhere else. So into the not special box, there you go. But after that point, it was time for shiny hunting. And boy, I went crazy. Cue the montage.
Oh, you just got sniped. That's the next quest on. Found you. Get in the ball, you stupid pink beetle. You look exactly the same. It's the big blue bear. Oh, there it is. Shiny Eevee.
12 seconds later.
I actually can't believe it. Double shiny Eevee. Are you actually shiny? Uh-oh. Right, in the ball you get. Oh, yes!
And the only reason why I went so far into shiny hunting is my progress on, at long last, the Super Secret Project. I spent a lot more time actually decorating this very setup, as well as it came with a house as well. So I was ready to come out with a bang. And well, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what we did.
This is it. This is it.
This is it.
However, there was one problem. The clock was ticking. We had 3 weeks. I really needed to start blitzing this project in time for the release of Legends ZA. And well, it's crunch time. It's game on. So with that, people, I started by completing the final side quest before we're locked into the end game the next in-game day. And by the time I step out of our little house...
Oh dear. Spoopy.
Still, could be worse.
Who or what are you really? I don't really know.
Well, you're obviously human. As a result of the sky going red, we get kicked out, fired, arrested. This was mutiny, I tell you.
You're not taking me alive. You're not taking me alive. Oh, okay.
I get stared down like I was some kind of plague. After all the good deeds I've done to the village, all the noble Pokemon we rescued, all the shinies we gave away to protect Hisui's Jubilee City. Honestly, the whole world felt like crumbling down on me. So I reached out to Liam from the Pearl Clan for guidance, but he wanted nothing to do with me. And then Mate from the Diamond Clan, well, she wasn't going to help me anyways. She didn't want to be accused of cheating. So I was left there, all alone, not a clue or even a path, other than a baby Shinx giving me hope. And that's all I needed, because literally right after they venture away, Volo comes with some rather useful information. He sends me to this hidden retreat, home to Mistress Cogita, and yep, she definitely looks like an ancestor of Cynthia, but we move. I learned about the red chain that can be formed and bonded by the Lake Trio. It's the only lead we have, so it must be worth a shot. And with the help of Volo and Irida, we go out on the quest. So starting off with the Alpha Gudra in Lake Verity, alongside claiming Mesprit's plume by proving my worth, then the Alpha Overquill follows in Lake Valor. Azelf was annoying to try and hit with a bomb, however, it's a test of resistance, and after we persevere, Azelf's Pang is ours. Wait, this geezer doesn't even have teeth. And then last but not least, it's the Alpha Zoroark blocking my path, and a little quiz from Yuxi, which surprisingly I managed to work out on my own, and thus his claws are also mine. What a weird combination. Now with all the free tools in possession, I head up to the Shrouded Ruins to meet up with Volo and Cogita alongside with the Lake Guardians bumping into us once more.
Here they are. Right, Mesprit doesn't have feathers. Azelf doesn't have fangs. And Uxie, yeah, little studs. What a load of nonsense. However, the red chain is ours, so I'll take that.
We now have everything we need to take on the catastrophe of Hisui, the end of the early Sinnoh region. And well, it's time for the last few battles of the playthrough. The orders from Captain Silene were clear, to bring peace and to return alive. And the journey to Mount Coronet was set. A pin was on the summit camp to meet up with the team and...
Oh, go away. I don't like you, Melly. I do not like you, Melly. Off your pop. Get on your cogs. Who likes Melly anyways? No one likes Luna. No one... Everyone likes Luna. No one likes Melly. Luna, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Our first opponent, the ninja and Commando's second in command, Benny. He starts with Miss Mages against New Chair. One easy crunch takes the ghost out instantly, sending out Sneasler for quick attack, followed by a huge close combat. Thunderfang nearly takes him out, but he uses a max potion, meaning a strong style T-Fang gets the KO. Gardevoir is next and sets up the Calm Mind, so I switch out to Slushy to take a petty Psychic Well, before hitting hard Shadow Claws, taking out the Fairy, with his Gallade falling in vain quickly after. Benny finally allows us to pass. Up next was the big sumo warrior himself, Kamado. We battle in honor. It's Braviary against Luno. Let's go. Everything's come together. Shadow Ball him out. Nearly. However, a second one gives us the lead, with Snorlax entering the field. I go for Psychic and manage to get the defense drop before switching out to Slushy, then hit Hydro Pump for him to miss the high horsepower. That was a huge play. The Big Bear falls to a Flash Cannon. From there, Slushy went insane. A quad-effective Hydro Pump soaks the big rock, leaving the Clefable, and it doesn't really like the Flash Cannon. Again, completely deathless. What a fight. He bows and allows us to pass. So with my respect earned, I enter Spear Pillar and await for Almighty Sinnoh, in this case, Palkia. Again, just like with Manaphy and Fiona, we do have to catch him to 1, progress with the story, and 2, research points as well as a completed Pokedex. In fact, it went in the very first ball. However, I also have to deal with the other one, Dialga. And then I get told to retreat and regroup for a strategy. So with the help of the Diamond and Pearl clan, we come together to gather some materials to go with the fragments of the now severed Red Chain. I mean, I wouldn't call it a problem, but the bandits were out to stop us once again. And right now, at the worst of times, they were ex-members of the clans, which says a lot. So they battle their old leaders whilst I take on Charm. But I can't really say her team is a pushover because they still have the exact same Pokemon. Rhydon didn't like the one-shot. And then after Gengar puts Expelliarmus to sleep, I swap out to Tails and, well, return a Shadow Ball to sender. They Scarper, allowing Leon to grab the Origin Ore, which allows the Professor in turn to create the ultimate Pokemon Ball, the Origin Ball. With that, and Palkia, I am ready. I know I did say we can't use legendaries and non-shiny Pokemon to beat the game. And even though you guys may think, oh yeah, we can't beat the game because we have to have Dialga or Palkia in our party at this moment in time, you don't actually have to use him. Because after preparing myself as well as Dialga transforming into, well, choking Squidward, through every dodge and weave, I only have to spam loads of time bombs to its face whilst jamming out to probably my second favorite legendary Pokemon music. In fact, I don't have to send out my Pokemon at all. I wear him down eventually and take my chance with the Origin Ball. We caught him, and at long last, ladies and gentlemen, we had done it. What a battle, what a game. Despite the credits rolling, we still have some stuff we need to crack on with. With the space-time distortion rifts calmed, it's time to crack back on to perfect and finish our shiny-only decks. I won't talk much about what happened because the same things occurred in comparison to the beginning of this very project, alongside with some side quests and battles with the clan leaders. The progress was steady and we were flying through the last few bits before the main post-game, and even some stuff in the village was happening. Oh, he's just evolved it! Oh, there you go! We're officially entering post-game territory now, and as you know, it's basically back to work, research the Pokedex, and encounter the dangers of Hisui. Which is ironic because we've been doing this routine since we fell from the sky. But now myself and Volo become the researchers of myths, and this is where we can start to seek out all Pokemon, including all the legend entries. Starting off with the very kind Pokemon that helped this Diamond Clan member, Medi, thanks to the Pokemon, and then the flowers bloom, before the Hedgehog itself appeared. It's Shaman! We're getting the Hedgehog! I can't use it, but we're getting it! Although, I still take the time to help the folk of the Sinnoh region, with even someone taming an Alpha Onix, which no one has a single alpha to their name, then get absolutely swept by a singular Shinx. No wonder why New Chair was on my main team. And then later on that evening in the Highlands, take on the nightmare that is Darkrai. He was a little frustrating, however, in the end, the fate was the same. Caught in the ball after a long battle and then dumped in the not special box. This just left the fun side quest, a new anomaly. I team up with Made to take on some massive mass outbreaks, because the only thing that I really need to catch now is the 3 Hisuian starters. To do that, I first of all need to progress through the story, go through each part of the region, and take care of the outbreaks in order to fully unlock the ones that I want, rather than them simply being fixed. And it wasn't long, but I started finding what I needed.
There it is! There it is! Come on! Let's go! Shiny Cyndaquil! Come on! Let's go. Ultra Ball that.
Whereas the finale stream was actually next, I had to crack on with some more shiny hunting off stream. And whilst I was script writing for this specific video, this happened.
So, I was working on the script while Jennifer was helping me with the research. And look what she found. That is my first alpha.
By this point, ladies and gentlemen, everything was all done. All the side quests, donezo. I just needed to take on the post gate.
It's gonna... Okay, I'm fighting coin. Alright, I'm fighting coin. Put them up. Put them up.
Oh yeah, I forgot I got Hisui and Samurott on my final squad. With that rude interruption out of the way, I head up the hills to find Volo by a stone wall covered in patterns of legendaries. And the main man of them all is none other than Arceus. I still have a load of plates to claim, so I go on a hunt, defeat the Alpha Vespiquen, who just so happened to have the plate in its hand. I don't know why, but it was clearly fate in my eyes, and it's onwards to the unknown retreat. When we arrive, Mistress Cogita also has all the information about the plates. We're finally at the point to catch all the legendaries, but first the level cap puts us in the place to first challenge our boss, Commander Kamado, once more.
That is our final team.
And well, we're ready for the final stretch. Golem is up first against our newest member, New Valette, Aquatail, and Easy Yoko. But the problem is his Heracross also puts a huge dent in our Samurai. Close combat followed by pin missiles puts us on the brink of death. So it's time to switch out to Tails, and an easy flamethrower burns the bog to a crisp. He retaliates with Snorlax, and high horsepower again hurts. This is where the AI in the game starts getting a little tricky, but after switching to Zoroark and Carmine, we're bulky enough to hit a hard hyper beam. He does go for the full restore, rather high in health, but after a sludge bomb, it's an easy hit with one more beam. Clefable comes out and Carmines before hitting a hard sidekick, so I reset my mind to boost my stats once more, negating the opposition's effects, and then sludge bomb the fairy out.
Ah, okay. That's gonna be an issue. Yeah, Zoroark's down. Down!
Everything still goes in my favor because New Chair comes out, takes it out with a wild charge, leaving the Braviary. It goes for Esper Wing, which doesn't do a lot, but another wild charge not only takes it down, it hurts us a lot. Despite that, the battle is won, and I received the Fist Plate. Shadow 9 decided to take on Cresselia first, who in my opinion might be the hardest one out of the bunch, because as soon as I encounter her, she confuses me and inverts my controls. She doesn't hurt me much, but it's just annoying. Still doesn't stop me catching it though. From this point, Heatran follows, and a simple super effective Aquatail So to battle with the frog I go once more, and without setting up, I get it low enough for a singular Giganton Ball. And then it's back to the Icelands to join Animin as well as Sabi in the Snowpoint Temple to tackle the giant himself, Regigigas. Gumdrop literally puts him on 1 HP from Steel Beams, which was incredibly close to my comfort, and even though our snail falls in the process, I can quickly catch him and receive the blank plate. Oh, and whilst I'm here, I may as well take care of Uxie, then head back for Mesprit and Azelf, which weren't much trouble at all. I return to the unknown retreat with only one more plate left to find, but I need to risk my life once more, and it's not for the faint-hearted. Bring 3 pieces of wood. Oh, you thought that was a risk? No. Because when I return to the Coronet Highlands and meet Volo at Spear Pillar, this guy was the evil mastermind after all, wanting to summon the banished Giratina after all. This battle was insane, and no one reckoned I could beat it first try.
Let's go! Let's go! Crank it up! I'm cranking the volume up, chat. Come on, let's go. New Chair, the one who started it all.
The one who's been with me for a year and 2 months, and it comes down to this. Well, this battle didn't start well, as we missed the first play rough, giving us a bit of damage to start with, but 2 play roughs take it down. His pseudo ace comes straight out to hit hard earth power and equalizes the match fairly quickly. But Gumdrop would come out and a quad ice beam pots a land shock on a sliver. However, we take him down. Lucario gets baited out and sets up the bulk, boosting its stats. And we're at a risk here, so I switch out to Tails, who takes the close combat very well, giving us the opening to burn it to a crisp. He does outspeed and wipes us out with a strong style rock slide. Nuvaleg comes out for a quad Aqua Tail for sweet revenge. Roserade has the opportunity to hit me with spikes. Well, that's nice. So Expelliarmus comes out to hit a hard Psychic and down the flower goes. This leaves the Togekiss and we hit hard with a couple of Psychics. He does nerf my attack with Moonblast, so I go for a cheeky stall and recover until my stats return to normal. Once I recover one more time, I take out the Jet Pokemon with full health. And I say that's good. However, my issue is with the big bad dude himself, as what Wayfarer stated in the chat. But I'm not scared. Zorog was sent out first by mistake, but the Swift Carmine sets the bulk as we hit hard super effective Bitter Malice. He leaves it on a sliver before our stats go to normal, and we do go down. But I let Expelliarmus come out and swiftly take him out. Or so you thought. Because he upgrades to his origin form, and it's time for round 2. Yeah, it's a bot, but don't judge me here. Anyways, Shadow Force hurts. A lot. This is a problem as he's obstructed now, although I let Gumdrop have a chance, and a huge Draco Meteor hurts. Our attack falls, but one more strong style Draco Meteor, surprisingly, gives us the win we needed to finally defeat Giratina as well as Volo. That will surely be the last time we're seeing him. Oh, and my flute upgraded into the Azure Flute, something you'll want to remember in a couple of minutes. I returned to Cogita shortly after, as there were a whopping 3 more legendaries to discover, these being the Genie Trio. Again, to chat's recommendation, I decided to head to the coastlands first for one other reason, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is to take on Giratina once more. This time, he quietly eyes up at me before wanting me for dinner. At this point, I was more so enjoying the music, but he withers himself down from the jagged splinters, and then I throw my ball. And honestly, this was a nightmare. First ball, what? Well, that happened. Anyway, shortly after, I go into search for the roaming Thunder Genie. As chat was saying, this was the more difficult one of the lot. And well, to be honest, I have... What up? What are we saying? Thunderous who? Exactly. Shortly after a huge Aqua Tail on the Landorus, he got caught in one swift critical capture, which only left Tornadus, who was a lot more tougher to take care of and deal with. However, his fate was shortly the same. A lovely Giganton ball added to the not special box. All was going well until the final legendary decides to show up, Enamorus. And I honestly do not like this genie one bit. I just couldn't seem to perfect the catch, just like I've been doing for the others. I was honestly having quite a meltdown at this moment until shortly after, I'm good to take her on. Get her low enough and also catch this annoying and pesky fairy. However, she does at long last cooperate. However, now we have a perfected Pokedex. I've pretty much cleared all the tasks. I've beaten the story, I've got every single shiny Pokemon, I've got a shiny Alpha, which I wasn't even expecting. There does remain one more task. We return to the Spear Pillar to play our new Azure Flute, the magical stairway to heaven appears, and by the time we get to the top and away from the planet's surface, we finally meet the creator, the one who at the very start instructed to seek out all Pokemon. This here was Arceus, and this is the very last battle of this long-winded run. So last guesses in the comments if you think we can beat this. Against the god of all Pokemon, it uses moves from the creation trio as a whole, and once more I have to throw bombs in its face. However, Judgment hurts. A lot.
It takes a good few Pokemon to put a dent into it, but after Tail Slips a boosted super effective Water Judgment on just 22 HP, an Energy Ball seals the deal.
Yes! Come on! That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've done it. Can you 100% Legends Arceus with only shiny Pokemon, beat all the quests, and defeat Arceus himself? Why, yes. Yes, you can.
Thank you so much for watching, and a special mention goes to those who have been watching the streams on this particularly long journey. Over the course of just over 300 hours and about a year and 3 months, this chapter has finally come to a close. And considering the fact that we did catch every single shiny in those 300 hours, beaten the whole game and defeated every single side quest, as well as all the collectibles such as the recipes, as well as the old verses, I say that's pretty quick. And for those of you who have been at the very start of the challenge or at the very end, I appreciate your support in the exact same way. It's been such a joy, and I cannot wait for Legends ZA. Don't forget to give this video a fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. But for now, I think you'll like these other adventures and shenanigans that I have done. Come on, click on them. They're right there. Come on, I know you want to. You might find a shiny.